couple of years down the road, you have become a playwright.
Okay.
That's like your thing, and that's your
Writing
identity.
plays.
Yeah. You
Okay.
you hang out with like other playwrights,
Okay.
you actually have like a weekly get together with a couple of other playwrights in town.
For some reason, that seems like a very serious group of people.
Um, so yeah, but that doesn't mean they don't know, how to let their hair down a little bit.
I just don't know if that's the
When you
kind of energy I want in my life. You
Well,
know, I don't
it's a
know.
very it's an almost calming energy, the world
Okay.
of the playwright.
Okay. Well, that's good. I'm probably thinking of them, probably stereotyping them.
At first
So
you
it's good to
definitely
know they're
did.
not that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you kind of, you know, got your head out of your ass about this whole playwright
Sure.
thing and you got to know
Hmm.
a couple of the guys, the playwright pals you guys call yourselves. You get
Oh,
together once a week at different people's homes and you guys are like, we're on we only have one life, so let's live the good life. So you guys do this whole thing where you get together and you guys like, eat like really fancy meals, you know. You guys like watch the finest cinema and like listen to like jazz records and shit. And so you
this is
guys
you. You know when I said that, like I didn't want that in my life, like like I don't want to
yeah,
become like a pretentious playwright. That's
you
exactly what this sounds like.
you start wearing like black
No,
turtleneck
come on,
sweaters.
Matt. I live in a climate that doesn't require that extra warmth.
That's why you guys normally meet at night.
It doesn't.
Because a lot of the stuff that you guys wear, it's just so heavy for, the climate that you guys mostly get together,
This
evenings.
sucks. Hmm. We're 2 minutes in, and this is already. I already expressed that I didn't want this, and you're just pouring it on.
Well,
This
no,
sucks.
but you're kind of like you go to sleep sometimes and you think to yourself like, it's kind of weird. Like when I hang out with the with the gang, the playwright pals.
Playwright pals.
Yeah, you're like, I have such an entertaining time, you know? And you're like, you don't, and at first it kind of like weirds you out, but eventually you're like, it's strange. After the third time you guys hang out, you're like, I think I'm into this.
Oh, don't make me do it.
And then you hear like there's like a mirror next to you, and you hear from it, I'm into this. And you look
Ugh,
over and you're like, what? And then like you're never sure if that was a dream or not.
who said it?
So so uh you guys get together and there's like the last time you guys got together, you guys sampled the Wheel of Cheese. That's this special. There's a nearby place that you guys love and rave about, but also like are constantly talking shit about that kind of thing. Uh, it's
Okay.
it's called Cheese City, and you guys every time not every time, but a lot of times you get for your get-togethers, the different snacks and stuff like that. There's even like cigars, for those who partake.
I
You
don't
don't
want. I'm not. I don't want to go to a cigar party.
So
You know.
you don't like smoking cigars. So you get like when it's your turn, you get cigars for all the guys, but you just get yourself one of those like candy ones that you can like puff. You know what I mean?
Dude, I'm an adult. Just gonna not smoke anything.
One time you got yourself one of those that when you light it, it explodes in your face like in a cartoon. And you got it for yourself just to make the guys laugh. And they're like, oh, how meta. They all laugh and stuff.
God, I
So,
hate this so much.
and you are devoting quite a bit of time to your plays. You're actually doing okay right now, uh, financially. You have a job that pays the bills. But you also had you recently came into like not like a lot of money, but definitely a few grand. So you have like a little bit of savings, you know. You received a letter from the Board of Contributions to Society.
Holy shit.
They are a group where basically if someone in your family pioneered something that what that ended up being a worthwhile, you know, contribution to society, if you're the one who brought it to the table and you can prove it, depending upon what your family, you know, pioneered, you could get kind of what you know, a few grand, you know. But some people get like millions. It really
Jesus
depends
Christ.
upon, yeah, about what it is. So
What
it
it
turns
is.
out it turns out that you have a cousin, um uh Pete Brooks, and he was for years and years he lived in Nashville, and it
My
was a
dad's side.
yeah, and there was a thing where, you know, in Nashville, if you know if you play live, you play in a band, you can be in like three or four bands at once and play every night of the week type of thing. So
Yeah.
he never toured. He wasn't like a road dog or anything, but he was a known uh you know, like bar musician in
Okay.
Nashville.
Yeah.
And he is it turned out and he's passed away unfortunately, but it turned out that and he wasn't even aware that this was the case. Um he was the first person to do like a mashup of Let Her Cry by Hootie and the Blowfish and Let It Be by the Beatles.
Yeah.
He was the first one to do it. And he also, and this was a thing that you didn't even know. You were like, how does anyone even figure this out? But it's been a few years of them researching it. He also was part of the first group to ever do like an ironic pop punk cover.
Hmm. What a fucking horrible thing. What? Hey, whatever. I don't give a shit. I mean that's cool. I don't get why there's a cultural significance to Hootie and the Blowfish Beatles mashup, but
Well, that's why
I'll
it's
take.
only a few grand, you know. It's not like, you know,
Yeah,
they were able
still,
to.
Jesus Christ.
Though they make it
I mean,
clear
I'll
that
take it.
it took them a this was like a year long, like a several years long research
Mm,
thing.
Fine, I don't care. Just give me the
And like
money.
the resources, the thing about it is that the resources definitely could have went to, you know, more worthy things. But to your credit, Aaron, you kept pushing it and pressing it, you know?
I didn't push or press anything. They came to me. No,
Yeah.
I'm not pushing or pressing anything.
Well, they told you that you were being considered and like you, but you kept, but they're like, you know, there's a few cases ahead of you and you're like, you know, you're like, God damn it, you know, my fucking cousin didn't die for, you know, for nothing, you know? All right. He meant something. He brought
This fucking sucks.
to the to the
That I
table
was mean to somebody.
what?
That I was
Oh, you were
mean to somebody.
not necessarily mean, but definitely like you definitely like are I'll call you this, Aaron, determined.
Man, I've worked that kind of job, and every person who was like that, I fucking hated. I
Yeah,
would not. I would not be that person.
I mean there were definitely nights where you couldn't look at yourself in the mirror,
That fucking sucks. This sucks.
but you kind of do you like your job, okay? Your job, like I said, it pays the bills. It allows you to
Yeah.
devote your time to writing so you're working on a play um about growing up every year in Dupo, Illinois, there was you know how there's like pine box derbies, you know what I mean, when you're in like Cub Scouts or whatever,
Yeah.
where you kind of create a small little wooden car type thing. So you guys had a thing called the Dupo Derby. And what it was you would make pine box style cars out of just trash that you found in the streets. And depending upon how dirty you're willing to get, I mean, some people, who were very determined to win, they'd get down into like the gutters of Dupo, and really search for stuff to, just to give themselves a little bit of an advantage.
Streets were not covered in trash. And I mean, there were there trashy parts. Yeah, absolutely. But it's not like there's so much refuse everywhere that people can scrapple together a fucking Ruby car.
But that's how you remember it. Like you know that like logically that wouldn't work, but you're like, but I swear that happened. And you'll like ask people that you grew up with or your family, and they're like, Aaron, like that's not how it worked really. And you're like, but you just have this like really intense memory that you swear is real. So you're sort of writing a play about that. And the name of your play uh is called To Be a Champion in Dupo, Illinois. And
What a fucking awful title.
it's about a kid who lives in the gutters, and the way that he is able to compete is that he lives there, you know what I mean? And so he's able to get a pretty impressive pine box derby car together. And well, I mean, that's what happens in the play. And it's about this guy. It's definitely an underdog story about standing up for yourself and finding out that you have the heart of a champion, even if you live in the gutters.
Jesus, Pat.
So you're working on this play,
Yeah,
and your day job, the the thing that pays the bills,
yeah.
is you have become a downtown parking meter enforcer. People call you a
It
meter maid,
sucks.
but you bristle at that. You're like, I'm an enforcer, okay?
I don't
If you're
think of
gonna call
myself
if
as an
you're gonna call
enforcer
me, well, not right
of
now
anything.
because you haven't, gotten the job yet. But you are it's a job that you never thought that you would have.
I don't
But
want it. I don't want to be the guy that writes parking tickets. Are you kidding me?
so what it is they recently there was some legislation that went through uh that excuse me, it gave a lot of funding to like parking ticket enforcement. And so now you guys have like advanced technology, you have like stealth technology.
That's
uh
even worse. Why are we spending all of this technology on parking ticket enforcement and not something worthwhile?
it
Like,
was
I don't
a
want to be a
typo.
part of this.
It was a typo in the legislation.
This fucking sucks.
It was supposed to be funding to cure depression, but instead, it was allocated to this. And so they have a lot more jobs available, and they have this like futuristic technology. It's almost like Halo, except for parking enforcement. And so you go around downtown, and you kind of like use the like you have a jetpack and shit like that. It's a silent jetpack, and you're able to move from shadow to shadow.
I'm not hunting down parking tickets. I'm not doing that. I disagree with it on a fundamental level.
So you
I'm
did
not writing a
before,
single parking ticket.
but after you got this job, the thrill
That
that
it,
goes through your body from the top of your head to the bottom of your dick when you write out a parking ticket, it just
I'm
gives you
not
a feeling of control. You know what I mean?
yeah, I know exactly why. It would feel good to have that power or control over another human being,
Yeah.
but also like that sucks so bad. I'm not gonna write ticket. I'll fly around on this jetpack until they fire me, but I'm not writing a ticket. I'm not gonna write a ticket. I'll write a lot of warnings, but I'm not writing.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna cost people money.
What would you so what would like your warnings be?
Hey, don't double park. Just giving you a warning, not a ticket. And then I'd silently fly away. I would probably hide in a tree and watch them as they read the note and
And you
understand that they
blend in
just dodged a
perfectly.
fucking bullet.
You blend in perfectly with the trees of with the branches of the trees.
Good.
And you and like people like you see people like you did it one time like recently and this guy walks over to his car, he sees the warning, he just looks at it like he crumbles it up, he wipes his ass with it, and he just like throws it into like a nearby park and then just drives away.
At that point, I would like fly down in front of him and stop him. And I would go, hey, man, I wrote you a warning instead of a ticket. I just saw you wipe your ass with it and litter it in a park. I go pick it up.
Um he you like flew down. Part of the technology that you have is, you have the silent jetpack, but you also have this armor, so you fly down in front of them and the car just like screech, it like hits you, but like you stop the car, it doesn't
Yeah,
hurt you at all. And
good.
you give that like speech to the guy, and he gets out of his car, his nose is just like gushing red. You had no idea there was that much blood in the person's nose. And he walks over and he gets it and like he throws it away. He walks back to his car. He gives you one last look of pure hatred.
Say, do you need an ambulance? You're bleeding pretty profusely. You should probably make sure you're wearing a seatbelt to keep you buckled in so you don't fly forward. You never
Here's
know
Yeah.
when something's going to pop out in front of you while you're on the road.
And as you give him that warning, you feel that same electric feeling from the top of your head.
I mean, that one feels a little more justified. You know, he was littering, wiping his ass with it, and then littering. Like somebody's going to have to pick that up. And it's got your shit all over it.
That electricity slides
Mm.
down your fucking body and it ends right at the tip. So,
Right at the tip, Pat,
yeah, so you say it all to him and like he gets into his car and like he gives
of
you
my
two middle
penis.
fingers and just drive. Yeah, he gives you two middle fingers and just drives away. So you're like, huh. So by day you prowl the streets of LA, and
I'm
at
not
night you
prowling.
write you have the tech, you have like I said, stealth technology, and you're able to blend in. One of the things uh that you like to do is like the when you write your warnings, you do the Batman thing where suddenly you pop up like behind somebody and they're like, ah, like there was no one standing there before, and you're like, you better not park like that next time. And they're
Well,
like,
that's how I talk.
yeah.
I do the Batman voice.
Sometimes, yeah, when you're feeling dramatic, and then they're like, ah, and then they're like, who are you? And you're like, me, just a concerned citizen. And then like they blank and like you're gone, and they're
But
like,
I but
whoa.
I'm not wearing like a mask or anything. I'm just a guy with a jetpack and a ticket pad.
And like she looks, and like underneath her windshield wiper is like the written warning, and she's just like, holy shit. So there's like
That
you actually have
sucks.
you have a rival. There's a so what's happened is, due to your lax enforcement of the parking tickets, there is like a crime wave essentially of parking violations. And people are like, these numbers are going through the roof. Like, what is going on?
City should fire me. The city should just fucking fire me then. Let the city fire me and so I can ride on unemployment for a while.
Yeah.
That's fine. And I'll do everything I can to keep this fucking jetpack.
So you go home, you know, you go home that night and you work on your play and I gotta be it's also like a metaphor for like capitalism.
To be a champion in Dupo, Illinois.
Yeah. And you're trying to figure it out. Like you keep like looking up the like at the top of your notes, you just have the definition of capitalism.
Noun. Yeah,
Yeah. You just like kind of weren't sure what it was. And then you looked it up and you're like, okay. Like you had a vague idea, but you didn't know, you know?
sure.
So you look at it and you're like, oh. So
Okay.
writing the play is not going too well.
Yeah, I'm not very smart.
You're, it's not just that. Like there's, you feel like your characters are flat, you feel like there's and you're like, when it's whenever it's the like the racing segment or whatever, it's pretty good. Like you have a very good you see it in your mind how you want it to look like, you know?
Sure. The sense of action is good, but the characters are flat.
Yeah.
Well, that
And
makes
then like
sense.
halfway through, you're like, wait, how am I going to show the action? This is a play. And you're like, God damn it. It's like you delete all of it.
Are you fucking kidding me?
You just kind of slipped your mind. You kind of because you're just writing like, screenplays and stuff. So you're kind of feeling like slightly not you feel almost like creatively constipated on this. You know what I'm saying? You feel
Yeah,
like you have a story. You lived this. So you feel like even though everyone says
I've
it's not
lived
true and it
this.
never happened, yeah. Even though everyone says it's not real, you know in your heart of hearts that this is the way it happened. And so you know that there's a story there. You know that there's something, but you just can't quite crack it, you know? So you you go to sleep that night. You dream of a howling void. Suddenly you wake up and you don't know what time it is because you can't move. You are almost you feel like you're stuck to the
What
bed.
the fuck?
You're like and you're like what the hell's going on here? And you suddenly become aware that at the foot of the bed is this like tall, dark like figure,
Yeah,
almost like it looks almost like a vaguely like you know what Baphomet looks like?
yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
You
The
feel like
goat.
it's yeah, you feel like that's what he'd look like if you could actually look at him directly, but you can't. He
Okay.
smile he gives you the friendliest smile that you've ever seen in your fucking life. And he goes, "Hello, Aaron. It's me, PD paralysis. I'm your sleep demon.
Been a long fucking time, Petey.
It's been a minute, brother. How you been?"
You have me paralyzed. What do you want?
He's like, "Look, Aaron, we've been over this. I'm not the one paralyzing you. I'm stuck here just as much as you, okay?"
What the fuck is
Anyway,
going on?
so he like smiles again. He just has like a really good-natured smile.
Great, great.
He's like, "Aaron, I know that things are kind of tough right now with the play that you're writing, but I want you to know that I'm proud of you, all right? And I think that you can get through it. In fact, I think I can help you." He's
How the
like,
fuck are you gonna help me? You're a sleep
"Yeah."
demon.
He's like, "Right, but I have like abilities. I've got powers. I've got things that I can do to help."
What are you possibly talking about?
He's like, "I can free that creative. I can help you with your creative constipation on this
Then
project."
do it. Unlodge me.
He goes, "You got it. He smiles at you again and he's like, all right, I'll see you soon.
What does that mean? I don't know. What are you doing?
You wake up and you're
What the
like,
fuck? Are you fucking kidding me? I'm not writing this guy a blank check to do whatever the fuck he wants to me to get this idea stuck out of me.
so you wake up and you practically rush to your typewriter. You're using a typewriter these days.
This
So you rush
sucks.
over to it and you sit down and you're like, you just start typing away, dude. And you're realizing the flaws in your story and how to fix it, how to make it compelling and relatable. But at the same time, amplified. And so you're sitting there and like it's almost like and like it's just free flowing, dude. And like you're making noises similar to like the noise you'd make if you were actually, taking a dump, So you're like, oh, like every once in a while as you're typing and you're just like, oh,
Oh, really? I'm in Croce mode. And you're making me
A few times you actually like find yourself starting to lean back to like, hit the flush button, but you realize, oh right, I'm just, So you sit there and knock you sit there for the whole day and you knock it out. You completely rewrite it and it's exactly the way that you pictured it in your mind. It's almost like you're holding a jewel that you designed yourself. And so you're like, holy shit. And you're kind of exhausted because you've just been like doing that all day.
yeah.
Um and you go upstairs and you just like fall into bed. You don't even like take your clothes off, you're just in like your clothing from like that you wore that day. That's how like exhausted you are from this whole experience.
Yeah.
You walk over to your bed and just arms out like Christ, you just like fall into your bed face down and
Yeah.
you're just like, yeah.
Like
And like,
Christ.
yeah, and you feel like even though you know that this doesn't make any sense and but you as you fall asleep, you think to yourself that like you also know what it's like to bleed for humanity.
Not no, man, this sucks. So bad.
So you fall asleep very very quickly and what feels like a second later, it's clearly like, 3 or 4 in the morning or something. Uh and once again you can't move. However, by now you're like somehow you're like in your pajamas. They're those Victorian ones where they cover your entire body and there's like a butt flap that opens up
Yeah.
and you have one of those like sleep hats like like on right next to you, right next to your
No.
bed, next to you have a glass of warm milk.
And man, I'm not a warm milk kind of guy.
You are when you're trying to fall asleep, You have a
Yeah.
so this is a few years down the road. You have there's a machine that the Lanalax Corporation created that it's like a timer. So like it'll warm up have it'll pour and warm up milk for you so that the milk is programmed for like a certain time. And
Why?
so you because you can't
Who wants this?
because sometimes you're tired and you just want to you're in bed, but you can't fall asleep. So you hit a button, and all of a sudden, you've got a glass of warm milk by the side of your bed, fella,
Who
and
the
you just like
fuck is that
chug it.
for?
For people who like
How can they
warm milk
justify making
to
this
fall
thing
asleep.
and putting it into production and making it available for sale? There's no way they're moving enough units to make it worthwhile.
No, they're
Zero
not.
chance.
I mean, they're not gonna do it again. It's just, ironically enough, it makes these years later like a kitsch object.
Oh, this is a limited run, is what you're telling me.
Yeah. So right now, it's most people are like, that was the worst idea of all time, but you fucking love it. So
Yeah, that sucks.
so you're in your pajamas. The butt flap is like has come, open in the night, and you can't move. You're
My
underneath the
ass is out.
covers and your ass is out. Yeah. Um, and you can see at the corner of your eye at the foot of the bed in shadow, but also it seems like a living shadow itself, just like a dark figure standing there. And it
Yeah.
smiles at you. He's like, Aaron, how's the play going, bud?
I go, whatever you did works great. Thank
He's
you.
like, he's like, oh, that's amazing, man. He's like, all right, well, how about this? Tomorrow you can go ahead and do that favor for me.
I mean, it depends on what it is.
He's like, well,
You
he goes,
gave you
whoa,
gave me you gave me no opportunity to talk to you about this. You
yeah.
know, it's got to be within reason. There are some things I'm just not going to do for you, PD.
He goes, how about this? He's like, all I want you to do, there is a woman that I'd like you to give a message to. That's all. All you have to do
What do you
is
mean by that?
he goes, I need you to pass along a message to this woman. I used to be her sleep
But what
demon.
do you mean? You need me to go find her and speak to her and say words to her? What do you
Yeah.
need me to do? Or
He's like, I need
am
you.
I to like give her a written copy of this message? What do you want?
He's like, all you got to do is find this woman and just tell her that. And he kind of gets like a thoughtful look on his face out of the corner of your eye. And you're like, sorry. And he's like, tell her Petey remembers.
I'm not doing that. I'm not going up to a strange woman who I do not know
Yeah.
and telling her something that may be like it could be very triggering, because you are a fucking demon
He's like, yeah,
that
but I'm a
haunted
nice
her.
guy.
And I say, if you and I never speak again, I get over the thought of of being afraid that you're going to show up any night that I fall asleep.
Yeah.
If I get beyond that and then a stranger were to walk up to me and say your name and he knew who you were, it would fucking terrify me. So I'm not doing that. I'm not tracking this person down. I'm not passing a message along.
He's like, oh man. Well,
You should have told me what this was before.
he's like, yeah, I really should have. I guess I just kind of thought that, me helping you out the way I did, I thought maybe you could help me out a little bit. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not doing that. I'm not gonna go meet a strange woman and say this thing. I'm not gonna you're a sleep demon. And I would say to him, I go, why do you feel that this is necessary to do?
He's like, I
Let
used to
it go.
be,
Just let
he's
her
like,
go.
I can't reach her myself. So I kind of
Yeah,
thought maybe,
just let her go. It's okay. Look, I would tell him, I have pined for many women in my life. And as of this moment, I am a single, sad, lonely man,
yeah,
And I would say the only way you ever get over it is just let it go. Just let her go. You don't need her. You don't need to be in her life. There's nothing positive that can come from this other than
yeah,
her going, "Oh, I remember him too," and thinking about you fondly, which no offense, you're a sleep demon. So she's not going to have like fond memories of you. So I'm not going to go say hello on behalf of you to this woman. And I
yeah,
think that you should really consider just like letting go of this. It will probably be much healthier for you in the long run. You should let it go. You should
yeah.
let her be, you know,
And he
let
kind
her
of like,
cry, let it be.
and he kind of like nods and he's like, let her cry and let it be. And he's like, Aaron, you've given me a lot to think about. Um, okay. Well, anyway,
And
good
I
luck
would say
with,
I'm really sorry. because I know the feeling that you're feeling. I felt that a lot in my life.
Yeah.
And like, I know that that feeling really sucks. And you're like holding on to something and nothing works because it's never gonna work.
Yeah.
It's never going to work. Just let it go. And I feel bad. I feel for you, my friend.
He like nods and he's like,
And I'm really sorry that I am the one to hopefully, teach you this lesson or facilitate your growth and to
yeah.
deny your request. I'm really sorry.
He goes, well, Aaron, sometimes you need to hear the truth. And even if you don't like it, it's something that we all have to hear.
Unfortunately, yeah, it'd be great if you could want something into existence, but you can't.
He goes, no, you can't. And so during this whole conversation, you still can't move. You're staring at the ceiling.
My ass is out.
Yeah, your ass is out. And you're staring at the ceiling, and there's a you've put you installed a mirror above your bed
Why would I do that? I
for,
got no need for that. I got
but you
no,
kind of thought
I'm,
you thought it would be a way to kind of, accelerate, meeting somebody, getting that installed.
I don't want to see a reflection of myself in the, when that, I don't want that. I don't
So
want that.
you have that like hanging like above your bed, and
Gosh,
as you're staring at it, suddenly you see like smoky tendrils, the same dark black color as the sleep demon. You see it like kind of flow over your bed, and it goes up your nostrils,
what the fuck?
and then your eyes
What?
turn black. Your eyes turn black, and then you wake up, and PD paralysis has taken control of your body, and you just like
What
walk
the
over
fuck?
to that woman, and
God damn it.
she works at a Applebee's 2 blocks away from you as a hostess. So
Oh,
he
it's my hometown Applebee's.
so he like walks in your body, and again
No.
your eyes are just fucking obsidian this whole time, and you walk in, and she looks up and goes, "Is it time?" And he says, "PD remembers." And then
What the fuck?
the smoky tendrils come out of your nose and like into hers, and you guys have like a mind link, and then you guys grow so big. You guys grow like 30 feet and just you become these like weird like monster things, you look just
What the
like
fuck, Matt?
you look just like two demons, but you just change shape every 5 seconds, and you guys knock over all the buildings of downtown Los Angeles. It takes the National Guard coming in to take you guys down.
Me and this woman from Applebee's. Jesus Christ. We just get shot to shit by the military.
Yeah, you guys get turned into like kaiju's kind of, and eventually you guys get taken down, but not after knocking down pretty much every building in downtown Los Angeles. Which,
Jesus
to be honest with you,
Christ.
Aaron, a lot of people would see as an improvement.
What a
Years
fucking nightmare.
they try to like rebuild it and like kind of like gentrify it or whatever, but the type of radiation that you guys left behind makes it
Oh, we
uninhabitable
were irradiated. Oh, okay, great.
for the
This
rest of
sucks.
humanity's existence.
Nobody will ever read to be a champion in Dupo, Illinois.
No, you finished the first draft of it or whatever. There
This
were so many
sucks.
misspellings. You were typing it,
Yeah,
so there's just so many. There's no spell check.
this this one sucked. So,
You got turned into
fuck
a
this.
kaiju. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, yeah, whatever.